Hello folks and welcome back to One to Deploy. I'm your host, Daniel Martin, and today we're diving into one of the most underappreciated truths in marketing. It is repetition. Most business owners I talk to expect that if they put out a campaign, people will see it once, understand what it is, and buy it, whatever it is. But here's the thing. Marketing doesn't work that way. And the truth of the matter is, it never has. It's never been about one post, or one ad, or one email. It's about repetition, multiple touches across multiple places over a period of time. You see, there is psychology behind this. The psychology of repetition. Humans need to see or hear something more than once before it sticks. Parents, think about how often that you've told your children to do a particular thing. I assure you, the first time that you've told them to do it, they didn't do it, right? Tell them by about the 17th time, and maybe they do. Psychologists call this the mere exposure effect. The more often you're exposed to something, the more likely we are to remember it, trust it, and eventually act on it. Think about the last product that you bought online. Did you see it once and instantly buy it? I'm willing to bet not. Chances are you scrolled past it on Instagram, then you saw it again on a friend's feed, maybe you noticed an ad a few days later, then maybe an email finally tipped you over the line. That's repetition at work. Multi-channel touch points. So it's not just about repeating the same message in the same place, because people don't live only on one platform. If we think solely in the digital world, and obviously people don't just exist in the digital world, but if you solely think there, then they're flicking through Instagram, they're flicking through YouTube, LinkedIn, email, Google podcasts, even offline stuff. That's why good marketing spreads itself across all of these channels. And it's a really interesting one because many of our clients say to me, where should we go? And the short answer is, well, pretty much everywhere. Here's a simple example. Someone sees your brand on social media. Then they see your Google ad when they're searching. Later, your email lands in their inbox. And finally, they see a video of you speaking at an event. By the time they take action, they've had at least 4 or 5 different touches, not just one. Why businesses resist repetition. This is something we see all the time. A lot of businesses resist this. It makes me laugh. I shouldn't be laughing, it's not fair, but they worry about annoying people. In marketing, they're worrying about annoying people. Or they think they're repeating themselves too much. But here's the truth. You will always get sick of your own message long before the market does. You're living it every day. They're not. In fact, the truth of the matter is, you're seeing your own message over and over and over again. Every single one that goes out, be it email, post, ad, whatever, you're seeing that. You think that everyone is seeing your stuff all the time. They're not. If people see a third of what you're putting out, you're doing well. People aren't getting sick of your message, even though you are. Repetition doesn't just work. It's required, it's necessary. Without it, your marketing will become invisible. The rule of 7. So I first heard this one at a Microsoft event pushing 20 years ago now when I used to work for a software firm reselling Microsoft products. And the Microsoft rep came in and told us all about how they're marketing their new thing. It was a dynamic CRM platform. And they were telling us how their new marketing strategy was doing wonderful things. And they had all these stuff going on. Now, I was a sales guy at the time. I was a tech geek and sales guy, and they're talking marketing, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know what this stuff is. And they started talking about touching people 7 times. Needless to say, my ears pricked up, thinking that sounded a little bit weird. And she continued to talk about touching people. And I thought, this is Microsoft going way over the edge. But what she meant was contacting people. So if we change the word touching to contacting, then maybe it's a little bit more PC. Nonetheless, they talked about touching people up to 10 times, but a minimum of 7. And it seems this rule of 7 is in fact something that is industry-wide. It's an old idea in advertising called the rule of 7. People need to hear your message 7 times before they take any action. Whether it's 7 or 17, the point still stands. One exposure isn't enough. Repetition builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. So maybe that Microsoft lady getting in there touching people 10 times, well, maybe she was onto something. So what's a practical deployment? How do you deploy repetition without feeling spammy? Well, here's 4 different things that you can play into your marketing mix to avoid feeling spammy, but actually doing something akin to the rule of 7. Number 1, consistent messaging. So use the same core message across all of your channels. Don't reinvent it every time. That means if you're putting stuff out across Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, email, social, search, YouTube videos, don't have a different message on each platform because that counts as a 1, not a multiple. Make sure that message is the same across all channels. A good digital brand strategy will help you do that because you will work out what your core message is. Number 2, varied formats. So, same idea, different wrappers. For example, a blog post can become a LinkedIn update, a podcast, a reel, a quote tile. All of these things are the same message in different formats. So once you've got that consistent message set up, you can use different formats. And when I say formats, I quite literally mean one might be a video, one might be written form, one might be verbal like we're doing right now. Another might be a quote on a still image. They're varied formats, but the message is exactly the same. Point 3, frequency with pacing. So stay visible without burning out your audience. As an example, weekly is better than quarterly. Daily is better than weekly if you can sustain it. But what you need to do is make sure that you have that frequency paced properly to match both what you are capable of doing and it won't burn your audience out. Now, you might say, well, hang on a sec, Daniel. You said before, do it as often as you can. The Microsoft lady said, touch them as much as you could. Why don't I just pump out as much as I possibly can? If you were sending the same thing out 17 times a day, it could be argued you're overdoing it. And the fact of the matter is, the algorithms will shut down most of what you're pumping out, so you'd be wasting your time. But in the real world, as I said here a moment ago, weekly is better than quarterly. If you're doing quarterly, you might as well not bother doing it. Daily is better than weekly. Well, weekly is still okay, but if you're pumping stuff out daily, 1 per day, maybe not emails, although in some cases, yes, but probably certainly things like social media posts, daily is important. If you were doing it hourly, well, maybe we're stepping over the line there, but you never know. You might be in a high demand, fast-paced consumer environment where weekly is correct. Whatever matches your audience, you should match as well if you can sustain it. And point number 4, remarketing. Use ads to deliberately repeat your message to people whom you've already interacted with. So this is a very, very common one, and most people do it to some degree, or at the very least they understand it. If someone goes to your website or they've clicked on or consumed some of your social media content, you can run what's called a remarketing ad to them. That remarketing ad shows them something that you've designed to say, hey, look, you saw our stuff before, come and have a look again. Use those ads to repeat your message, and you will find that it embeds as one of those 7 touches into people's minds. Use those 4 points consistently, and then you'll get your rule of 7, your multiple touch points, with relative ease. So, in closing, here's the takeaway. Here's the one to deploy from today's episode. Marketing doesn't work until you've touched people multiple times, just like the Microsoft lady did, in multiple different ways. I'm sure she did that too. Stop expecting one post or one campaign to carry all of the weight. Build repetition into your strategy, because it's only when people have seen you again and again and again, when they've heard your message enough times for it to feel familiar, that they will trust you enough to act. That's it for today. I'm Daniel. This has been One to Deploy. And as usual, think sharp, build bold, one to deploy.